Hi everyone, welcome back to Design Machines. This is episode 4. We've been experimenting with a few things in these last few weeks and trying to design some posters for my music league. Doing this out in the open in front of you, which is both terrifying and extremely fun. And wow, I've got audio coming through my speakers here, so I have got to make a quick adjustment to my audio. Oh my god. This is the fun part about this whole thing, is figuring out how to fix these things on the fly. It's very raw. I'm learning this stuff, and so okay, I don't hear myself anymore, which is a great sign. Can you guys hear me? Hey Luke, how's it going? Can you hear me? Saying hi in case you can't. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just making sure my stream's looking good. Looks like it. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, I actually had my audio. I had the YouTube page up. Like, this is amateur hour stuff here. So I'm making it happen. We're doing this. Okay, cool. All right. So, if you've been paying attention for the last few weeks at all, or have seen any of the recordings, you'll notice I am in a new spot here, at a new co-working spot in Ubud, Bali, called Baluna. It's in the middle of a rice paddy field, so you get a nice view. It's very inspirational. I'm also in this podcast booth with a bunch of equipment here that I am not using because I don't know how. I'm just getting started here. I'm dropping in. We're playing with it. But maybe in the next few weeks here, while I'm still in Bali, we can maybe figure it out and get some better audio going and stuff like that. Might as well use these tools while I got access to them. So, let's dive into it. I'm going to just switch my screen here, and we're just going to jump into a little bit of a recap, see where we're going with these designs. Okay. So, yeah, yes, I love working in this place. Okay, here we go. Cheesy transition, and we're into the posters. So, we're going to zoom out a bit here, and just a quick little update in case this is new for you. So, I won't go too deep into this. So I've been running this music league, which is this fun little app here where you gather your friends up, and every week you create a collaborative playlist, basically based on a common theme. And so you don't know what songs people are submitting, but so for example, we had this one here, Ladies a Go-Go, whether a classic, the Go-Go's, or a modern, give us femme bands who are having a blast breaking through the misogyny of the rock genre. So we have this theme, we get a few days to pick a song and submit it, which is done by a Spotify link. And then after that, we get the app generates a playlist for us, and so we listen to this for a few days, and then we can vote on our favorites. We get 10 points to distribute, and so we have a season. I do this. I go a little hard on this, and I throw a season together. There's about 30 of us, and every week we accumulate points. And so this season, our winners were Phil, KQ, aka Kevin, and Chris Galloway. So I am designing This was a 16 round season, and of these 3 were the top winners here. So myself, I am actually horrible at this game. I came in at an easy 9th place because I cannot understand what people are gonna like. I don't know what songs people are into. I like to think my taste is better than the rest of the community. I think they disagree. whatever. So anyway, we got these winners. So what I like to do for our winners, I throw a big awards ceremony every season. So this year I'm gonna rent out a bar, and we're gonna do like a nice ceremony. I'm gonna present the winners with some posters, and then everybody else gets some little prizes based on things like best comments, most losses, things like that. And so we just have a big old party, and it's a lot of fun. So last year's, I'll bring these up again so you can see what we're working towards. Sometimes this co-working space's internet is a little on the slow side, unfortunately, but that's okay. We are in the middle of a rice paddy field. What do you expect? So here we go. We had season 1 posters. Chris Galloway, who you may remember is in 3rd place this year, he won first. So we did these. I try to take one of the songs they submit, something that meant something to them. They could write a comment when they submit. So if they say, like Chris mentioned something like, oh, this band was really important to me, I'd like to submit this song. So for me, I know it's a song that means something to them. So I take a few of the lyrics and I try to make a poster that sort of intertwines the lyrical content with some fun graphic design. Chris also won 1st place in season 2. This guy is a musical, I don't know, he's just a man of the people when it comes to music. Everybody loves his picks. They're awesome. This season he was Larry Heard, Can You Feel It? We gave him 1st place. I did a little TR-909 illustration, incorporated some text into it, and the drum beat of the song in this case. And this last season, he got 3rd place. I'm decorating Chris's house. This is a common thing I've been talking about. He's got an office. I'm going to be filling it with all these things. So I want to make sure the posters sort of fit color-wise, thematically, maybe a little tie-in together, but still distinct. And so the last season, he got 3rd place with I used Latigra's Decepticon. Has this funny line, every day and night, I can see your disco dick. I'm sucking my heart out of my mind. I'm out of time. I'm out of fucking time. I'm a gasoline gut with a Vaseline mind. So like, this very visceral imagery, a little vulgar, but that we're having fun with this. So I try to incorporate the content with the image. In this case, this was an Alt-J song called Taro, trying to make a little skeuomorphism here with some film, writing the lyrics on the edge of the camera. So yeah, I don't want to just paste content onto an image. I want to see what we can play with the type and incorporate everything and just make this like a fun and meaningful prize for someone. So they want to put it up. I don't know if they are putting it up. Who knows? But, you know, it's something special that they can hold on to. So for this season, I have collected a bunch of songs from the winners. Let's see. Oops, I got to go back, find my posters playlist here. Okay, season 4. Thanks, Luke. Luke says, these posters are so good. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, especially coming from you. Luke is this wonderful designer. Are you still on Bainbridge Island? Just off in the Pacific Northwest. Wonderful human. About it would have been, Jesus, when did I go? Oh, almost 15 years ago, when me and Rachel went on a road trip, and Luke graciously let us park our massive 30-foot RV in his driveway. We ruined his lawn backing out of it. And ever since, we've been hanging out, doing at TypeCon conference, which I haven't been to since before the pandemic. I miss it. I'm thinking about going this year. I don't know if I can make it happen, but I don't know. Hopefully soon I can see you in person again. Yeah. So amazing. Luke's still on the island. Also, hey, let's do a little shout out. Let's look up some Butter Label stuff here. Uh, Luke, drop your URL. I want to. Oh my God! See, I'm typing while I'm talking, and it's not making sense here. Okay, I'm mistyping. Butter label. Okay. Wait, where are your skate decks? That's what I want to find. Oh. Okay. This is what I'm going for. Okay. This is Luke's website. Where are your skate decks, buddy? I want to show... Okay, so Luke is a great designer. First of all, look at this site. It's amazing. I love how expressive Luke is. He's a man of my own heart who is not just settle for like this boring, like, I don't know, everyday like material design stuff on the web. He actually goes out and does some just beautiful, interesting work with type and illustration. Okay. We share this common interest of skateboarding and design, but Luke is a true artist. Okay. This isn't, I don't know if this, you didn't make this. This is Brian Levy. Okay. Damn, that's a sick deck though. Oh my God. Luke, Luke's gonna share this. You gotta share your decks with me because I want to. He's been painting these skate decks for a little while here, and they are absolutely beautiful. They are wall hanger decks. These are not decks that you just skate and tear up. They are beautiful works of art that you need to. Okay, here's one of the decks. Oh my God. There's our pal Scott Bohms, actually hand painting these ones. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for that link, and then I'll push you out. I like to promote my friends on this channel here and make sure everybody gets a little bit of love. Okay, so let's get back to the design poster stuff. So the first week we worked on noname. This is the longest recap ever. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, but this is my style. But last week we worked on noname for the first couple sessions, and that was this sort of military mixed with NFL kind of poster here. Noname really talks about these themes of the NFL being sort of a propaganda tool for the military and how certain artists will just be complacent with this and perform in halftime ceremonies or at Coachella. And Coachella, obviously not a military thing, but still talking about how it's sort of this conflict that the modern day artist has where, you know, you need to make money doing what you love, and at the same time, a lot of that money comes from places that you may not morally agree with. And even in the song, Noname herself has some self-awareness and talks about how even though she does not like where like Coachella itself has become like this very commercialized, very capitalistic festival, but even she will play it. So it's this great song talking about how like a bit of the contradictions about social justice and who we serve as artists and designers and that conflict within. And so it's a little bit about giving back to the communities you come from, you maybe using that clout or that status somehow in a positive way. So we kind of went through a couple sessions going from like very ugly, gross, kind of rough ideas of a concept, maybe thinking about how do lines of a football field, how can they maybe represent something military-like. And so I thought of maybe lines of soldiers or like bullet trails from guns. These arrows are obviously not bullets, but it's just something to get on the paper just to maybe remind us of the concept we're going for and just get some loose ideas going. And then we kind of refine that a little bit with the type, playing with United by House Industries for the font, which is this nice It's this nice sort of mix of a varsity meets military font. It just works perfect. I bought this whole face years ago. I talk about this every session. I spent probably like $1,000 on the family or whatever the hell it was, and I've been waiting for projects to use it on forever, which, as many of you designers know, especially if you're into fonts and type, you buy these things hoping for a project instead of buying the right font for the project. So, maybe it's not the most economical way to do things. It's nice to support your font designer friends, and we all should be doing that. But maybe, for the wallet, it ain't always the best habit. I know all you designers kind of know where I'm coming from. I know I'm not the only one. So we kind of just spent sort of the second episode, which you will not hear this. I recorded it and forgot to turn on my audio. So I made a second video where I just compressed it into 2 minutes, the entire episode, because you can't hear anything I'm saying, but you can maybe follow along visually with the process that I'm doing. And so at that time, I really wanted to work it into, okay, how do we make this as minimal as possible to look like a football field? And this is where we got. It was like adding these little yard lines in here, refining the type a little bit, playing with this NFL logo, so that's where we'll put like the no-name song title and artist name. So this poster is not done either. This needs some work. The bullets aren't really clear to me as bullets. They're okay. I'm not super satisfied that these are obvious, that they're like chemtrails, whatever you call these trails from bullets yet. We're not there yet, but I think we're getting close. We got a concept. I'm happy with leaving this as it is to kind of come back to a refinement stage. The way I like to think about these, especially because I'm designing sort of 3 as a series, is to kind of bounce between them a bit and get them roughly to a stage that is kind of ready for refinement. We'll tweak it. We'll make some more versions and all that. So last session was really about a sourcing session. We wanted to figure out which song we wanted to do for Phil. So we were debating between IDLES' Mr. Motivator, which has excellent lyrics. It's one of his favorite bands. He just saw them in Vancouver last week with a bunch of my other friends. He's submitted a couple IDLES songs this season. And the other part of this, I know Phil has even like followed them on tour a little bit, seen them several times. I know Phil is a big fan and would be pumped to have a nice IDLES poster. So that's part of it. I want my winner to have something that they actually really care about and means something to them. The other part of it is there are so many great candidates for lyrics in this damn song. Like I got the Genius up here. It's a little easier to see. We got, like, last time we talked a lot about Roadhouse and Conor McGregor, who is just this big, dumb doofus. I hate this guy, but, like, some very visceral themes come out of this. Every line is something special. So this is the one we're going for here. Like Kathleen Hanna with Bear Claws grabbing Trump by the pussy. This is the line that Phil actually called out in his Music League comment. So I know this is something that he thinks is funny. It's topical. It has a lot of image potential for us. So that's the one we lean towards. There are a couple other great pieces in here. We talked about the meaning of the song. We talked about the concepts of creativity with stealing versus borrowing, which is part of the themes of this song too. So go back and listen to that one if you want to kind of dive in there. I'm not going to go too deep into that. We're going to focus very intently on this song. We also did a little bit of image research. So we went through Google Images. We looked at Kathleen Hanna, who is, of course, the front woman for Bikini Kill, one of the, like, foundational bands for the Riot Girl movement in the 90s. And so this was like a big punk movement that was sort of this reaction to a lot of male misogyny in punk rock and in other areas of music. It was like this statement that women can be aggressive and raw and political and not just a bunch of pretty girls and all that kind of stuff. All these stereotypes that are totally false, frankly. So it's one of the most punkest of punk rock movements. It's so badass. So we looked at some of the, there's a lot of fun hand-drawn type. This is a time of zines, so a lot of photocopy and collage. We've got some typewriter fonts here. Like someone literally wrote this on a typewriter, photocopied it, like wrote with a pen, took some like lettering pieces. Some of this is cut out from magazines. Some of it might be some like Letraset stuff maybe. There's all kinds of different ways people could have done it. I'm not sure how all of this is done, but it's very raw. Like, this is not some modernist, Helvetica stuff like that I've got here. This is just, again, a placeholder to get this in here. That's not going to be the font we use, but I want to remember that line and get it up front and center. And then we kind of played with some bear claw imagery. Like, okay, the most obvious thing would be combine like Kathleen Hanna bear claw grabbing, Trump in the crotch. I don't think we're going to go that way necessarily, but still, we want to source some hints. So just trying to see, like, what the hell does a bear claw look like? We talked a little bit about, like, even, like, what the hell is the claw? So I think the whole hand is a paw, right? And, like, if we got a paw, what is the claw? The claw's like the little thing. But then people say, anyway, I don't know. Bear paws, bear claws, whatever. It's immaterial to this conversation. This is my neurotic pontificating about what is the proper definition. It doesn't matter. So we looked at not only bear claw as an animal, but bear claw as the donut, which, especially given Trump and like his eating habits, this might be a fun direction. It might be a dead end. I don't know yet. This is the scary part about designing these things, especially in the open, is I always have like this little bit of anxiety of like, oh my God, am I going to find a concept that works, that looks good? What is this thing going to look like? Am I going to crash and burn and just lose out? We got some disgusting photos of this disgusting man. I don't think this is real, but it's funny. I don't know. Is it real? I don't know. These are of course real. This man is gross. I'm just going to get him off my screen. I don't really love to look at that. And then, of course, we got badass Kathleen Hanna herself. I was going to say, see, this is me going off on tangents. So there's Bikini Kill, also currently front woman of La Tigra, which is another song Phil submitted this year, and the poster that Chris submitted won for last year. So I kind of ribbed Phil on submitting a song that was already not only submitted in our little league, but also one that got third place last year, and I designed it. I could literally take my poster from last year and just give that to Phil. I'm not going to do that, but just ribbing you for repeat songs. So Kathleen Hanna, I think this is super cool because of her there's so much inspiration just from her style, right? Like bright colors, patterns, just this kind of like polka dots, pink, green. I love this. Like even her La Tigra look, like these outfits. Fashion is such a big part of her vibe and her aesthetic, and it is badass. And I want to be able to incorporate some of this sort of vibe into our piece. So this is one interesting thing that's sort of been kind of at the back of my mind this whole week, is sort of like Riot Girl is this, it's this all women band or mostly women band. I don't remember if there are men or probably non-binary members of it, but so this is very much part of it. This is general punk in general, had a lot of these aesthetics too, so I think we're okay. But the one thing I want to be careful of is IDLES themselves, is a all-male band. And I love their politics. They go all this. But like, I don't want this to sort of just appropriate that look and put it on them. So I don't know what that means in practice. But one thing that I want to keep in mind while I'm designing these is that this should be maybe a tribute, or thinking of it as maybe IDLES as I'm thinking of myself through IDLES promoting the concepts and the ideas of Riot Grrrl. So it's a little bit of mental gymnastics to like get through all of this and try and think, okay, all male guy promoting, like, really, what's the word? It's not promoting, but maybe giving a tribute to this movement and the, that feminist raw power kind of striking back at this utterly disgusting misogynistic asshole, frankly. So how do we combine these pieces in a way that pays tribute and doesn't just appropriate or co-opt that vibe and that look? So we want to really put forward some sense of Kathleen Hanna in here. I've got some ideas starting to brew in my head here. So here's the other thing. I want this to fit in with my style. I don't want to just co-opt these. I don't want to be nostalgic in a sort of skeuomorphic way, almost. Like, I don't think I want to make a fake magazine here. I could hand draw this. My drawing's horrible, which actually might be a tribute to this. Last time I talked about maybe filming myself, like, sketching the words. This is a new setup here. I didn't bring my stand. I didn't have time to set up my camera to do some sketching. So we're going to skip that part for now. And maybe, you know what? Maybe we can keep it in here. So what are some other ways we can look at this? One of the concepts that sort of come to mind is maybe leaving it. I don't think we need to have Trump at all in here necessarily. We could have like a crotch in here with a guy in a suit. We could avoid that altogether and just have, like, it could be as small as a bear claw with another detail that maybe lends itself to Kathleen Hanna. So it actually is her with a paw. Maybe it's using like a bracelet. She doesn't really do bracelets or really a lot of jewelry. She's got like that cool necklace that is, goddamn, that is pretty badass. Badass line. Okay. She's not a big, like, jewelry person, but, some of this Riot Grrrl aesthetic, maybe that's okay. We got, like, maybe there's some spike bracelets, which is very kind of 90s and early 2000s. Did any of y'all have any of the spike belts or anything in those emo kind of days? I don't know. I know I had a spike belt, a white spike belt with leather. Man, I was a train wreck in high school with some of that style. I never quite fit into any group. So I would have like maybe a white spike belt, studded belt with like my dad's blue grandpa pants that were kind of a little too big, some Chuck Taylors, probably a plaid button-down shirt. And here's the kicker that is the most embarrassing part, is I would wear this cheap ass pocket watch from Zellers. It's like almost kind of like a Canadian Walmart before Walmart. And I would clip it to like this, it was like a short sleeve plaid t-shirt. I would clip it to a button here, which would sag down my shirt, and droop this cheap ass pocket watch in there. And I thought that was like the coolest, edgiest thing ever. I would have like bleach blonde hair, spiky. My mom was a hairdresser, so she would we'd color my hair all the time. So anyway, it was a look. Some mix between some like, I don't know, identity crisis between ska, punk, skater guy, which, you know, that was sort of the style back then, but, you know, not this cool. It was nothing this put together. Maybe next time I'll find a photo for next time. So, you know, I've been going on this whole intro and recap for about a half an hour here, but that's okay. This is how sometimes the juices get flowing. You gotta like get back into it, go on some tangents, let that stream of consciousness flow a little bit. So here we go. Let's first of all, I'm not gonna worry about the type right now. It kind of creates a picture for us. For me, I'm you know, I've talked about this before. You know, a lot of designers will say like go sketch, I'm not like that. I'm all over the place. I sit in my browser or my Illustrator and I just start experimenting and I play from there. It's like even when I design websites, I'm in code. It's probably like the least productive way to do it for some people, but you know what? That's just what works for me. That's what works. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm feeling bear claw right now. You know, I'm just going to pop some of these up to the side here. Made a donut one. And so the thing that's bouncing around in my mind, I don't know if it's a good idea yet. We're going to see. There's a couple things I talked about last time, maybe doing some collage and stuff in there, which is still a possibility. I have not worked in a lot of collage in my design, but it's something that, you know, a lot of good designers that I respect have done and can pull it off really well. So maybe there's something there. But I want to try this other direction first. And that direction is kind of to maybe mimic some of these rough lines that are jagged, like cut out. The cutout look. So it's maybe not the exact collage that we're using, but we're going to borrow from that look, if that makes sense. So let's follow along. So first, I got my grid here. I'm not going to pay too much attention to this, but it's going to give me my starting point. So I'm going to draw out the roughest damn bear claw I can and just kind of look at these, not to copy, but cut, just so I know what the hell a bear claw looks like and I can rough it out in my mind. So let's just start laying down some pen tool things. The nice way, the way this works, I think, is going to work well. English. Okay, here we go. Is, you know, even just doing this pen tool it kind of lends itself to, like, I'm not trying to do like anchor points at the extremes necessarily. I might come back to that, but right now I'm just like playing in here. See how this stuff, you know, we're gonna get like 4 o'clock. This is gonna be ugly as hell, but you know what? We're kind of starting to get somewhere. I'm kind of like loosely going by this hand here, but no, you know what? I don't like that last point. So we're gonna go out here maybe. Yeah, do some. That kind of goes out here like that, and then we're just gonna close that off. So this is kind of like similar to up here where I made this explosion that looks, this is supposed to be a nuclear explosion. It looks like a stupid chef's cap. Basically, I just took 3 circles and a rectangle and put it on there just to give myself the idea, put it on paper, see if I even like the direction of it. And as I go here, I'm like, you know, this hand is obviously horrible. It's kind of just, it's too much like that anyway. I don't want it to look like that. but I'm seeing potential, right? I'm seeing, okay, we like move some nodes around here. You know, just keep it loose and fast and fun. And we just want to start like, you know, I'm going to get rid of this thing out of my site because I don't want to copy it. I don't want this thing to be like that at all. But let's see what some of these other pieces look like. We could start incorporating some claws. I feel like, God, see, I'm moving fast here and I'm moving this whole illustration around. Let me do this. So like, even by doing this, like you don't need much. Sometimes some of the best design just sort of implies an idea. We're gonna have those words in there. So the other thing I'm kind of keeping at the back of my mind while I'm doing this is, what sort of image can I make with words and type? This could be used in a number of ways. So we have our three elements. We have Trump, Bear Claw, Kathleen Hanna. That's basically the gist of this song. We also have, you know, we also got Pussy in here. We could make the words look like that. Give that shape. I don't know if that's where we want to go here. I think not. Like we could, let's just brainstorm quickly. What are some ways that we can maybe shape type in a way that fits in with this image, which isn't just simply laying it on top? I don't want to do that. I feel like, for me, one of my favorite pieces is I like to think of it as like the image doesn't quite work as well without the type, and the type doesn't quite work as well without the image. And the best way for me is when they are actually incorporated somehow, or the type is the shape of it. Like if we go back into, where is my, like when I look at, we got the guillotine, it's just, you know, like forming the word guillotine into an actual guillotine blade, or, you know, making the words into a boat in this honey, honey out in the sea in this Feist song. So how do we do this in this case? We could, of course, shape the words into a bear claw. We can, you know, go a little more easy on ourselves, and let's see, let's go like, let's add some color to this here. Let's go like super hot pink. We're not going to worry about exact tones in this yet, and of course we are going to print these, so oh my god, come on Illustrator. Okay, we're going to bring that to front. So I'm not going to use Noé Has Grotesque. I'm not going to use United because for this song it doesn't work. We have a lot of, for now, I'm going to use one of my kind of favorite sort of display fonts here. I'm going to use some Druck from Commercial Type. Another wonderful independent type foundry. You know what? Let's call them out. I don't know those guys personally, but I'm a big fan of theirs. I've seen them speak before. I use a lot of their stuff. But anyway, Commercial Type, they actually do have this, the former font on here, Noé Has Grotesque, which is just like basically a modernized Helvetica. It's really well done. And then Druck, it was sort of this display face that was meant to be paired with Noé Has Grotesque for Bloomberg Business Week, I think. And so it's like a very fun, where are you, Druck? Let's see, this is the hard part about speaking. Again, I talk about this all the time. Speaking while designing or doing stuff is like two different brain pathways. Kind of, sometimes they collide. So this is Druck. I'm going to show it on here so I can show the full family. I think the reason for now I'm doing this just for this particular piece is because I want something that's more uniform across that I can maybe do in all caps that maybe I can use as a bracelet, perhaps. You know, that studded bracelet idea. Obviously, it won't be studded because we need this to be somewhat legible. Although, now that I'm speaking on this, can we make the letters into studs themselves? Oh, see, I talk about getting anxious about, am I going to have an idea by the end of this? This is how they come up. I just have to rely on little things popping in as I go, as I speak. Some of this stuff just becomes obvious. Damn, the internet is so slow right here, right now. So look at this loading bar. Oh my God. I'm not going to bore you with loading a damn web page. So we're just going to start playing with Druck a little bit here. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to move this to all caps. We are, yeah, we're in CMYK because we are going to print this. I'm going to print this on my inkjet printer when I'm back in Vancouver next month. But one thing that I'm not sure about, so typically I try to, I usually put like, I talked about this last time, but when I'm picking colors, let's go into that right now actually. I like to, for no reason other than maybe OCD, like to find like whole numbers for these posters especially. See, this is very dulled out, and I think that's because we're in CMYK. So I want to amp up the magenta in here, I think, a little bit. Maybe, do we want to increase or decrease? I think decrease our cyan. We want it nice and bright. What if we just zero it out? What if this is pure magenta? You know what? Yes, that is what's speaking to me here. So we're gonna, we're gonna do a few things. We're gonna just reduce that line height for now. I will adjust the bear claw. So again, we're going really rough here. Just playing with concepts. We're gonna Bob Ross this a little bit and kind of just, well, we're gonna feather it here. We're gonna dust it off. I don't know, what does Bob Ross say? I don't, whatever. I like to think of it as Bob Rossing my designs here. So this alone, this could be the beginnings of a concept, right? Where we have a bear claw, just that's a little bit punk rock, making a claw thing. And I really like this. You don't even need to have grabbing Trump by the pussy in here. You don't have to go that obvious. You just have to have something that like ties those concepts together. I'm actually going to play around with this idea of a studded belt. This, I didn't think I was going to use United on this. But damn, this studs seems like a good opportunity. I think I have to install what I'm thinking here. So, oh my God, get out of there. So I use Right Font. I don't know. This is a plug for Right Font. I don't know. Whatever. It's a great little font manager. So, Rumachina, making a logo for our house here in Bali that I'm staying at right now with my wonderful girlfriend, and we are it is a house in the middle with a walking path at the end of the jungle. Deliveries get lost all the time, people get lost, so we're kind of naming it and giving it some directional signs. Anyway, besides the point, we don't need to know that. So I'm going to put in some new words here. So we are going, I'm just gonna go full on Kathleen Hannah. What I'm looking for here is more of the shape. I want a kind of very blocky square thing. So we have like our sans stencil, which has the right weight and shape. the black is close. It's not, doesn't quite have the squareness I'm looking for in this. I don't know how well a stencil will play off of this. Oh, we have like our extended, our semi-extended weight too, which could work. Again, it's not quite as heavy as I want it. Let's see, where is our, oh, where's that? We don't want it condensed, we just want the regular, I think, the standard width. Oh my god, this family is so huge. I love it. It's like, I can't believe I'm gonna use this twice in a series. Maybe. This is just a candidate. Regular stencil. This is pretty square. Oh, maybe I do gotta go semi-extended. Not italic. Where are you? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna activate that one for now. And, you know, well, that's not favoriting. Activate. There we go. I'm also gonna look at, I'm just gonna see while I'm in here. I know I have some other more square weights and things. If, hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, God. Bear claw with studded wristband. This is Luke. Bear claw with studded wristband grabbing 2 free orange balls. Yeah. Oh, Luke. That came up. The thing when I thought of is literally 2, like, cheese balls. By the way, an aside. Did you see this guy? Yeah, I don't know how to search for this. Man eats cheese balls. I think in New York. Yes. So, like 500 people. Oh my God, shut up. Okay. This is amazing. See if I can zoom in here a little bit. This guy, I don't know the backstory behind this. Maybe y'all could see this, read this link. Maybe I'll post this link in my show notes after. But okay, we have this guy in an orange mask, right? Watch me eat this entire jar of cheese balls in Union Square Park, and yeah, this guy had over, I think, 500 people show up to cheer him on. So. I don't know if you can hear this or not. I have it set so you're supposed to be, but it doesn't look like I'm getting any audio bouncing here. But oh my God, this guy, he just goes for it, and he does it. I'm just gonna skip ahead. Cheeseball man, they're all chanting. Hilarious. Anyway. That has absolutely nothing to do with this, but maybe, you know what? Maybe it does. Maybe we work some cheese balls into our design here. That could do it. It could be, you know what? I love this. This is like a little bit of collaborative design, and y'all are making this extra fun. So, I don't know. Let's make some circles. Let's just make it orange. Of course, this bear claw probably ain't gonna be. Never say never, but it's probably not gonna be white. I think we need a little more orange here. Yeah, let's make it a little closer to like an international orange. Okay. No, don't do that. Okay. So, blah blah blah. These we're gonna, you know, I know this is probably gonna send it to the back. You know what? Normally, what I should actually be doing here. Any of you know who know Illustrator, when I'm actually not doing this in front of the audience, I'm usually a little better at taking my time at, you know, using different layers. See, like I even got these layers in my template made here. So I have a back layer 1 is usually where I put my like backdrop, my illustration. I'll put in like labels and stuff. Okay, my God. Let's do that. Let's do this proper here. So I'm going to take my illos. I'm going to cut them. I'm going to put them on a new layer here. I'm going to paste in front like that. Then I can lock my back layer. See? Who says you don't learn anything from here too? Well, I guess no one said that, but I'm saying that now. So we're gonna, because it's on a new layer, I can send those to the back. And boom, not behind our background, but you know, Kathleen, Hannah, maybe tearing off. We could get real gruesome with this and have like blood and guts and things like that. I don't know if Phil's gonna want to have that on his wall. Again, always thinking about where this is gonna end up as well. So yes, we got some balls. Let's just see how this looks with United. You know, we could always alter it too, so we fill in the stencils if we don't like that, but it might work. I don't know. I want to see how it works. See, we got, in context. That's the thing. Sometimes in context, things look different. To me, these look a little too wide. So semi-extended, a bit wide for me. If I go, where's my regular? Yeah, I think the regular width is where it's at for this. So I'm gonna shrink this down a bit. I'm thinking maybe 4 rows of studs. I'm gonna blah blah blah. Where's my paragraph here? I'm gonna turn off hyphenation on this because we don't want this hyphenating. We want to just find maybe, you know, we're gonna play with this a little bit. We gotta deal with some font sizes here and stuff as well. I think, you know, at least line height, it should be pretty tight. I go a little, in this case, like if this was a document where I was laying out a lot of text, I would try to work the line height into the grid somehow. So it would be having a baseline grid. Say you have these, so for example, a baseline grid would be these rows across here. I might have extra ones that are like maybe every 12 points, or you know, every quarter inch maybe on a poster or something. In this case, I have lines that are every inch. It's an inch by inch grid on this. I'm not going to worry too much about it because we're not dealing with long lines of text. I'm not lining this up with anything. I'm going to go purely by feel. And so I'm aiming for about 4 lines of text here. It's a tricky one with like I find a big block of text like this with capitals, because you're really like having to deal with some really coarse objects here, each letter being that way. So, you know, but thankfully there's lots we can play with. Number one, we don't have to have everything exactly left aligned. We can, you know, work some spacing in here. Where is my cursor? No, what is this? Not letting me space? I think it's just adding space to the line. But yeah, it's just adding space up above. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? What if I tab? No. Okay, well, we'll play with that later. I'm not going to get into details here. The other thing I'm going to do, and this is where maybe some of our shape definition is going to come in. I'm going to make this black. And we're going to bring this letters to the front. And we're going to bring this to there. We're going to change this color to maybe, want it to look like studs. And pink, there are pink studs, but in this case it doesn't look like much. So we got this sort of, I'm starting to like the chunkiness of this. This is, to me, is like like if you listen to IDLES, it's a very raw, punky band. You know, we can move that thing there. We can cheat a little with our illustration and kind of like draw things out here. Oh, that looks a little weird. But play with that. We have all kinds of levers we can dial here. We can shrink that type down. You know, get it looking kind of roughly where we want to. In this case, I want type to be fairly illustrative. So we can kind of like play with that there. Now, of course, I'm just kind of roughly getting it in the right place here. We're gonna play with this here later. Right now, we're losing some of the, you know, of course we weren't playing with color before, but it's starting to naturally sort of find ways to incorporate itself into this. So we're losing a bit of the Riot Girl thing, I feel like. We have like the rough cutout look on the bear claw. Let's bring back our magenta in, make this like a pink bear claw and see how we're doing there. And all of a sudden we're starting, I think, to get somewhere where we're kind of getting a Riot Girl feel. We're getting a bit of a rawness, this cutout like shape. We've got a punk rock, like we want this really, we got her name in here, Kathleen Hanna in here, which kind of does a little bit of cheating and heavy lifting for us, so the image doesn't have to be obviously Kathleen Hanna. And we know it describes it like Kathleen Hanna with a bear claw. So when we see a bear claw, we know that's what's going on there. We got some orange balls, we got the cheese balls, thanks to Luke's awesome suggestion here. So yeah, this is interesting. What I'm seeing here too, oh, okay. This could be something, this could be nothing. But what I'm seeing here as I'm looking at this is almost starting to look also like a figure, like a person, right? You got these two eyes, kind of the hair, which could be like a Trump hair kind of thing, or something else that looks like a monster with a collar. So we're kind of at a crossroads here. We can look at this like, okay, this bear claw does it. It could be confused as a person, and so we should either go more bear clawy, make it more obvious. Maybe that's like, you know, adding more of these types of shapes, these claw-like shapes onto the ends. It could be just playing with the shape a little more. The other part of this is that it could be one of those opportunities where you can combine the image. So depending on how you look at it, it's either a figure that maybe is Trump-like or Kathleen Hanna-like, or it could look like a bear. That's more challenging, of course, but you know, we don't shy away from a challenge like that. We try and see if we can make that work. So if we go the latter, what we have to do is start looking at what are the elements of this that tell us Trump, right? Like in this case, we have two orange balls, which will be enough in that way, I guess, because we say Trump. Here's the thing, though, too. Balls, are they supposed to? I don't know. We're talking genitals here. This might be counteracting our words here. So that is another thing to consider. But if we're like looking at the combo of things here too, and this is hair, we want to shape this more like Trump hair maybe, and maybe the claw itself is orange. So here's what we're gonna do. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this at all. So where are you? Let's zoom to this part. Bring back our where's my layers panel? Here it is. We're gonna unlock this, and we're gonna zoom out a bit, and I'm gonna move these hidden or locked. Oh, what's locked? Oh, my background is locked. So we're just going to. I talk about the annoyance of locking for me in a previous session here. Hey, what is locked? Oh, I still have that first layer locked, of course. Okay, so we're gonna move this, just make a copy over by here. Okay. What the hell? Oh, I see what's happening. So this is weird. If I have the layer locked, I also have a section of the layer locked too, and I have to explicitly do both in order. That's kind of a weird behavior. I could see maybe I'm not seeing the, you know, I can maybe see why that works that way, because let's say, I don't know. I'm not going to get into too much analysis on how Illustrator works while I'm doing these. We're going to learn this together. If you know, put it in the chat, and then we'll you know, we'll talk about it. I'll share it in the stream. Okay, why they do this? Not important. That's not the point. The point of this isn't so you know how to use Illustrator. The point of this is to go through the thought process of designing these pieces and to maybe have some fun with this. Okay, so the other thing I'm thinking that came to mind that I want to play with is, you know, what if our bear claw, let's get rid of these balls for a second. What if a bear claw was orange though? And this is actually, I'm gonna just copy that orange from down below there. Oh, no, this won't work. This won't work. You know why? Is because now our Kathleen Hanna is, we can't combine Kathleen Hanna and Trump. Conceptually, that doesn't work. At least not for me. I think this is the dead end. But that's okay. We had to kind of explore it to see. And you know what? I'm not going to delete that because everything is valuable. Everything is valuable in design. So we're just going to pop that over there. We know it's not going to work. But that's okay. We're just dealing with concepts. I'm trying to think if there is another thing that we might want to do here, though. I think there is. So I have a good feeling about this concept, to be honest. Like, I can envision it. I think, oh, you know what? Oh, man. Oh, man. Here's the part that's missing, but I think, oh, yes. Okay. I have to somehow incorporate IDLES into this. And I was trying to think, like, the band name and the song name. So sometimes that alone could be, okay, I'm going to leave that for now, but leave our hand for now, but we might come back to it. So I am going to, first of all, IDLES, the band name, is the perfect candidate for like a giant banner. It's short. The way they write it is all caps all the time. So I am not even going to do like the transform to all caps feature in Illustrator. I am going to full on do all caps here. And then we're going to, so this is sometimes something I like to do, is look at how the band themselves expresses themselves. So I mentioned that some of my friends went to the IDLES show this week. And so I just grabbed this screenshot. I didn't want to put it in here until you guys were all here, because I'm taking you along for the whole ride here. You are seeing every minute of my process here. So this is their stage setup here. I'm just going to remove those guides for a second. And they have this, like, it's all caps, but it's this really pillowy kind of like rounded font, which normally this is like what you use for, I don't know, something very soft and pillowy. It's almost cloudy. You could use this for candy. That's what I think of. I don't think of this as like this punk band, this political punk band, but when presented like this, in like, this is like, context is everything, right? It kind of looks really punk rock and badass and just heavy. It's wild. I love that. So we're going to play with this. I don't know. I don't even have a rounded font like in my installed right now, I don't think. So I'm going to, let's see. We are going to see just what we got here in this that maybe is close to that. I just want to see what it looks like if we just like pull that reference right in there. This is by no means the final decision. I want to explore other ideas for this. Like, even like going back to our Raiko, maybe that part is handwritten. Maybe, who knows? And we don't have to go exact. Something like this. Although that S looks too much like an 8. I don't know what that is. We've got a few rounded faces here, like Burial. I got a ton of trials too I can go into. I'm gonna maybe, you know what, I'm gonna limit this to fonts that I actually own and not just trials, because wait, why does this only have 108 in here? I have more than this. Oh god, there they are. Okay. So the nice thing about Write Font is it pulls in Adobe fonts that I've installed, and then also some Google fonts, which I typically don't have included in here just because there's so many. I try not to use Google fonts, mostly because I want to try and support my independent font designers and pay for fonts. And like, also there's a big mixed bag of good quality and kind of lesser quality fonts in Google. So I tend, it just takes the mental load off me when I go to a Foundry itself. I just know that it's going to be kind of higher quality. I don't have to spend a lot of time evaluating it, whether just on that level. I can more sit with the feel of it. So just go to Foundries. Go to especially the independent ones. Go to my friend James Todd. We promoted him in the first episode. He's got some great fonts. We got Commercial Type this time. Also House Industries, which, we talked about the last episode. Just beautiful stuff. I'm a fan of Klim fonts as well, out of New Zealand. There is no shortage. We got OK Type in America, in Chicago, I believe. I've used a couple of his fonts in projects, specifically. Watch me web browse. So Klim, we've got, these guys are very popular, but still independent, which is getting more and more rare. If you are at all involved in or pay attention to the font industry, type industry, you'll know you got Monotype, which is really the biggest font foundry. They are gobbling up foundries left, right, and center, because it is a hard business for sure. Because people steal fonts, they don't pay for fonts, so independent people can stay alive. But they got, you've seen these fonts everywhere. Tiempos, Founders Grotesque, Sewn, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but so one of my personal favorites, Caliber, is in here. I've used Domain in previous posters. Incredible. We got House here, which I went through last time. Again. These are my tangents. Some of you I know are not designers, but your fonts, even when you're working in Word or PowerPoint, all those are things that people spend hours and days and sometimes years producing, each one of those fonts. And so it's drawing every letter meticulously, programming how close they sit to each other and what happens at different sizes and weights, and whether it's, lightweight, bold, regular. They all have different details and nuances that people spend just meticulous amounts of hours on. And the last one I want to show, OK type, one of my personal favorite, like serifs, Harriet here. It is absolutely beautiful. Like, look at those italics, just a incredible looking font. And then also we got, All Right Sans, which is another one that I used to have on my own personal website once upon a time, which is, there's just beautiful, kind of humanist sans serif. And, I don't know, support your local font designers, and don't just shop from the monopoly of monotype. Okay, hopping off my soapbox here. Let's go